According to an old Beijing legend, a dragon was once trapped beneath Chongwenmen. The man said to have trapped it was Liu Bowen. His real name was Liu Jai. He was a strategist, statesman, and scholar who helped Zhu Iwanzhang establish the Ming dynasty. But in later folklore, Liu Bowen became something more, a master of prophecy, geography, and hidden forces beneath the earth. The legend says the dragon was promised that it could escape when it heard the gate's metal signal. So Chongwenmen never struck that signal. Instead, it rang a bell. The dragon belongs to folklore, but the strange sound at the center of the story survived in an old Beijing saying: 9 gates, 8 signal plates, and 1 bell. Why was one gate remembered as sounding different? And how much of the story was actually true? To understand the saying, we first need to rebuild a city that has almost disappeared. During the Ming and Qing dynasties, Beijing's inner city had 9 gates. 3 opened through the southern wall: Qingmenmen in the west, Xizhimen in the center, and Chongwenmen in the east. The western wall had Fuchengmen and Xizhimen. The northern wall had Fuchengmen and Andingmen. And the eastern wall had Dongzhimen and Chaoyangmen. But these were not 9 equal entrances. Chaoyangmen stood directly on Beijing's central axis. It was the formal southern gateway of the inner city, larger and more ceremonially important than the other 8. Chongwenmen stood southeast of the imperial center, connected to busy roads, goods, and taxation. The gates shared 1 wall, but each opened Beijing toward a different part of the empire. The object translated here as a signal plate was often called a yun pai, a metal plate struck to produce a sharp warning sound. According to the familiar saying, 8 gates used these metal signals. Chongwenmen used a bell. The legend gives us a perfect explanation. The wrong sound would release the dragon. History is less convenient. There is no reliable evidence that Liu Bowen placed a dragon beneath the gate, or that he ordered its guards to use a bell. And a Qing-period account of Beijing's city defenses makes the story even more complicated. It lists metal signal plates at the gates, but records bells at both Chongwenmen and Dongzhimen, with no signal plates at those 2 locations. So the famous 1 bell may not describe every period, every instrument, or the complete administrative system. The proverb remembers 1 bell. The record appears to preserve 2. The legend gives us a clear answer. The archive gives us a complication. But perhaps the more important question is not why 1 gate had a bell. It is why the gates needed signals at all. Imperial Beijing did not remain freely open throughout the night. Time was announced from the city's bell and drum towers. Gate guards followed an official schedule, preparing the entrances to close in the evening and reopen in the morning. Signals warned people nearby that movement through the walls was about to stop. A merchant arriving too late might find the gates locked. A cart could be forced to wait outside until daylight. Inside the walls, guards and patrols watched streets that had become darker, quieter, and more restricted. Sound was not decoration. It was infrastructure. In a city without electronic clocks, loudspeakers, or digital networks, sound carried time across distance. It told people when movement was still permitted, and when the capital was withdrawing behind its walls. The gates were not simply openings in brick. Together, they formed a controlled boundary between the imperial capital and the world beyond it. Over time, each gate developed its own identity in popular memory. Chaoyangmen became associated with grain arriving from the east. Fuchengmen was linked with coal from the west. Xizhimen was remembered for water carts. Fuchengmen became associated with armies leaving the city, while Andingmen was connected with their return. These stories are often summarized as 9 gates for 9 kinds of traffic. But they were not 9 absolute laws. They were memories shaped by geography, where the roads led, what goods commonly traveled along them, and what lay beyond each gate. The walls made Beijing appear enclosed. The gates revealed how dependent the capital was on everything outside them. Most of Beijing's inner city walls and gate towers are now gone. But the 9 gates never completely disappeared. Their names remain in roads, neighborhoods, intersections, and subway stations. Dongzhimen, Xizhimen, Chaoyangmen, Fuchengmen, Andingmen, Chongwenmen. Millions of people still use these vanished gates to describe where they are. Beijing no longer closes itself behind 9 doors at night. The walls have disappeared. The signal plates have fallen silent. And the dragon beneath Chongwenmen was probably never real. But the legend, the archive, and the surviving names preserve the memory of a city that once opened and closed by sound. The gates are gone, but Beijing still moves through their names.